Should I do it more? For sure. But it all depends on what you as the person want to do with your social media. So do you want to gain more buyers or sellers in your area? Then that is the type of content you should be creating, for sure. You just got to know what kind of audience you want to bring in and create content for them.
That was such a good answer.
Good.
That was like, it hit on everything I was like thinking about in my head. That was awesome. Yeah, I think that's a huge, and every agent I've interviewed on the pod has talked about this, like knowing who you're creating content for is like step one. Are you trying to reach buyers and sellers? Are you trying to reach other agents? Like those are two completely different audiences. And if you're zigzagging between the two, like you're just creating double the work for yourself and it's half as effective. So picking one or the other or going all in on both. I mean, I think you do it really well, but you're also posting. How often are you posting?
Every day, posting something
every day. Yeah. So if you're committed to posting every day, I think you can do it. But if you're someone who's just starting out, I think you need to pick one or the other and kind of get really good at it first. And then you can kind of expand to a different niche. But I always suggest when I'm working with agents, I'm like, you need to pick one to start and then start getting either the inbound or outbound or both leads coming in and make that system work for you before you start adding in a different audience.
And I don't want the listener to think that, I gotta post every single day now. Well, listen, if you as the listener are a real estate professional, well, I'm sorry to say, but you got into a business where you have to expose yourself. You have to be out there in all ways that you possibly can. So you got to be on podcasts, you got to be on billboards, you got to be on the shopping carts at the grocery store, you got to be on social media, you got to be here, you got to be there, you got to do door knocking, you got to do cold calling, you got to text, you got to be email campaigns, you got to... There's like so much and it's overwhelming, but there's a reason the carpenter has a tool belt, because for them to really get that house built up, they got to use 15 different tools in that one day. So use them, whip out the hammer for a second, whip out the screwdriver, whip out the measuring tape. Like, you got to use them all. Which one are you going to use more? Are you a door knocker or are you a cold caller? I sure as hell I'm not. I'm a social media person guy. That's my thing. This is what I do. This is what makes me converse with people. This is how, listen, the podcast is here, right? There's a reason why we're connected. Somehow, in some shape or form, we're connected. How? Because I cold called you? Because you cold called me? No. We see each other on social media. Like, okay, this would be a good conversation to start. And you never know where a conversation could lead to. So
absolutely,
you gotta have conversations. But that's why I love Instagram, because it allows you to have those conversations. And on top of that, I do it a different way. For example, this morning I got a DM from this random dude, and he says, "Yo, bro, your profile is so awesome. Great job." And I'm like, okay, cool. Random person. So I go on his profile and I see he has like 432,000 followers and this like super handsome, like very, cool guy. And I'm like, okay, you want something. What do you want from me? He's like, those messages all the time. So I just responded. I said, thanks, not interested. That was my response. Maybe it was bad. Maybe it was harsh. Maybe he just genuinely meant it. I get 30 of those a week. And
same.
What happens? It's hey, thanks so much, and then they hit you with the, hey, your Instagram could be better. Let's make it better together. Like, piss off, okay? Instead, what I do, if I'm going to reach out to someone like that, let's just say my intentions are the same as his. Let's just say, Tammany, I'm going to reach out to you. I don't know you, who you are. I've never met you before, and I want to compliment your profile. Like, am I going to use his approach and say, yo, dude, great profile? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to whip out the phone. I'll send you a video message. And my view is going to be something like, first of all, I'm going to do some digging on you. Like, I want to creep on your profile before I send you anything. He could have been specific. He could have said anything about my profile, but didn't. He just said it's great. That's not good enough. Give me more. I could have reached out to you and said, hey, Tammany, I see you have a podcast. I listened to your one episode with this guy, and you were talking about that. Like, that was so cool and informative. Whether I watch that podcast or just watch the second of it just to pick out something to get from there to make sure I catch your attention. So now I'm going to say something like that, right? Now you're thinking, oh shit, he did his work. He did his research. Like, he's creeping. Okay, go on. Right now I got you hooked. And now I'm going to say, Tammany, it's so cool to connect with you. Right? I said your name. So good to connect with you. I saw your podcast with that guy and this and that. Oh, by the way, anything you ever need, like I'm here. I'm helping from one content creator to another. I'm here for you. That's what I would say. Like, you can't say that, oh, Ed copy and pasted that to 15 other people today.
Right.
No, that was a personal message, and your odds of getting back to me with a message are much higher now. Because now you're like, damn, I'm gonna feel bad if I ignore this guy.
Yeah.
Like, and you respond, and then conversation begins if you take it there. So, like, that's the art of Instagram that I love and I do, and that's in the book. So,
yeah. I hope you're listening, because that was a really good tip on how to outbound message, or I guess we could say that quote unquote cold DM, without being like skeezy about it, right? So let's summarize a little bit. So you find a profile who, one, is probably in your area, who's probably of age to buy a house. Two, you have something in common, like you're going to vibe with this person. They're going to be your ideal client. You do some digging, you learn something about this person so you can actually have something to say other than, hey, cool profile. Then you go to the DMs, you do a video message because they can see your face, they can hear your voice. There's so much research around the psychology of that versus a text message. And you send them a personalized video message. That's 15 seconds out of your day. And the chances that they, 1, reply, 2, visit your profile, 3, follow you back are so much higher than being like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, that's such a good tip. So if you are struggling to get those inbound leads, struggling to have conversations on Instagram, that is a great idea of do it 20 minutes a day for the next month. I guarantee you're going to see some changes.
Guarantee. Absolutely. And now some people cannot send video messages. Sometimes, for example, I cannot send you a video message because I don't follow you, you don't follow me. So one shot to send. All right. So usually you can start off only with a text message.
Interesting.
So what I do, right? Or a DM message, right? So what I do is, if their profile is public, then I watch their story if they have a story. And you can respond to a story as many times as you want.
Oh.
You only have one shot to send a DM though. Once you send it, Instagram's like, you can't respond to this person anymore. It's a one shot. I get it. Sometimes it does that, but sometimes it lets you send a video message. And obviously that's for privacy reasons. That's for, people not sending weird stuff to people.
Yeah.
Right? So I get that part. But at the end of the day, a nice little loophole is to respond to their stories. You can respond to their stories as much as you want. So they're going to eventually maybe see it. But those that do allow the video messages, send them a video message. It's the coolest thing ever. People don't expect it. And especially if you like text on the video, put text on there. So the first thing that they see is like you waving. It just says hey. It's like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Why is this guy? It's my name. It's okay. All right, what is it? Like, let me watch it.
Yeah.
So things like that. But if you can't send a video, then respond to Instagram stories or something of that sort. Or just keep going until you do send someone, or you can send someone a video. But yeah, make the video short and sweet and simple. Do not say anything about you selling real estate. Do not say something about, hey, looking to buy or sell this year, the rates are really low. Like, don't say that. You want to say something relatable. What do I do with personal messages to people around here in my area? So for example, I'll go onto the hashtags. I'll type in my town, Somerville, NJ, and I'll go ahead and I'll start engaging with people in my area. And as you said before, someone that's of age, someone that looks like a prospect to buy or sell a house or rent a place or a developer, whatever. And I'm going to click on their page, comment a few on their pictures, like some of their posts, watch their story, and then I hit them with a DM. And that DM, usually, I say something like, hey, Jack, saw your page. I was looking at Somerville and NJ hashtags. Your page popped up. I just stumbled upon it. So listen, hey, from a local to a local, anything I can ever do, like, so good to connect with you, my friend. Hope to see you around town. That's it. Like,
I love that you mentioned how you found his page, because a lot of times people are like creeped out. They're like, wait, who is this random? Right. And then I also love that you mentioned that you're a local, because then they like, oh, he's not just like some random guy from I don't know,
Right.
like Russia or something, you know, like.
Exactly.
And another like tip I was thinking about that I use this when I'm like trying to get podcast guests. If they read your message and don't respond, and you're like, you want to follow up with them, but you don't want to be annoying, respond to their story. Because what happens is that goes into the same message thread. So they're going to like see the story response, but they're also going to be reminded of the message that you sent prior. And they're going to be like, oh, I forgot to respond to that previous message. So that's another little tip that I like to use.
Absolutely. Or let's go even further more with that. If they have different platforms, hit them up on there too.
Oh,
Listen, I've the serious like followers or those that really wanted to get my attention in some shape or form and do business with me. I got the same message on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, on email. I'm like, damn, this person wants to. All right, you got my.
interesting.
Oh, that's another one.
That worked for you.
Oh, for sure. What I did for a long time, because you said it before, YouTube is not necessarily a place where you can exchange messages or build that community. You can. I'm not saying anything bad about YouTube. It's probably something that I need to be better at, for sure. But it doesn't have that personal to person DMs, right? Similar to that of Instagram or TikTok. For a long time, TikTok wasn't allowing you to send messages to followers or people like that unless both of you follow each other.
Right.
So what I did is, let's just say you scrolled upon my TikTok, you found some of my videos humorous and you engaged a little bit, maybe you followed me. What I would do is I would go onto your TikTok, maybe like a video or two, and then go to your Instagram if it's connected to your TikTok. And I would send you a message on Instagram saying, hey, Tammany, I saw you message me on my TikTok. I saw you liked a few things. Listen, I love the support and I appreciate it so much. Like, if I can ever do anything for you, like I just want you to let you know I am acknowledging your love. So I want to give it back if I can. Now it's like, wait, I saw you there. Now it just completely gets their mind out of whack. So that's what to do in today's world. You have to do something different that others aren't willing to do or don't have the time to or are not thinking of it.
Yeah.
That, you know.
That reminds me, I took a training from Grant Cardone, and he always says, be omnipresent. That's what the word he uses, omnipresent. And so he's like, you just have to be everywhere. You have to be everywhere. And beyond that, your brand has to be consistent everywhere. Because if you are everywhere, but they don't realize it's you, like the same person across multiple platforms, like you're wasting your time. So you have to make sure your brand looks the same everywhere. Whether that's consistent colors, consistent font, consistent messaging, consistent all the things. So make sure your brand is nailed down. You have your audience dialed in. What are you showing me? Brand colors.
Brand colors. Go on.